Hey, welcome to the show. This is my second podcast, and I'm not sure how this is going to go as far as with these podcasts, but it's very therapeutic for me because I like to just get these thoughts out and get out, what's laying heavy on my heart and get this out my spirit. So here we go. This is going to be about my journey on two wheels, these podcasts, and I just want to go into a little bit of a deeper dive in more detail about the four bikes that I had. Is it four or is it five? I believe it is. Let's see, one, two, three, four. Four bikes that I had in my entire bike life career there. So the first bike that I want to talk about is the first bike that I ever bought was the Kawasaki Ninja 250, the old school one, the one with the boxy headlight there, the one that's on the screen right now. I love that bike. Oh my God. It's nothing like having your own, your very first. It was a major accomplishment. All right. Let me back up. Let me back up. So, watching Cycle Cruiser, watching Ducati NYC, and watching DJ Motovlogs, who doesn't vlog anymore, and a couple of other ones. I was like at a point in my life where I wanted to do something, but I didn't know what. I was bored, I was tired of just going to work and coming home, and I wanted something to do. And I was on YouTube a lot. This was like around 2017. And it's a point in my life, like a dead spot in my life where nothing really was going on. Nothing wrong, nothing bad going on. But everything was just boring and just slow. So, watching videos and Cycle Cruiser, Ducati NYC, they made it so fun. I never knew that motovlogging was a thing until I discovered those two guys. That you could attach a camera to your helmet and stick a microphone up in there and just start recording yourself riding and talking. I didn't even know that that was a thing. And I was like, wow. I never thought about motorcycles before, but I'm seeing them do it. I'm like, man, I want to do that. So that led my journey into two wheels. And the video that did it was the Psycho Cruiser video called Fear. If y'all want to look that up, that video, if y'all want to see why I'm riding motorcycles on today, that video did it. Psycho Cruiser is on this channel. Just type in the word fear on Psycho Cruiser's channel and it should come up. That was the video that made me get up off the couch and get my license. That video right there. So I was looking for a motorcycle after I passed the MSF course, which I failed the first course because let me tell you, I went through Harley Davidson and that Street 500 bike was a piece of junk. Man, I hate Harley Davidson for that. Put me on that piece of junk. It was clunky. It was heavy for no reason. And the thing, like, it skipped gears. I don't know if it was because the bikes there were so abused and, like, lack of maintenance, or if that's just how the bikes were. Harley Davidson's Street Series, for Street 500, they discontinued them, but for good reason. But that bike was a piece of junk. And not just me, but a lot of people there was having trouble with skipping gears and not going into neutral and stuff. It was just a cluster, you know what. So I failed the course at the very last test of the course because that stupid bike was all clunky and like I got caught. It went into neutral around the last curve of the course, and it just like totally devastated me. Like it frustrated me because it wouldn't go into gear, and I'm like stepping on the bike, I'm hitting it because I'm frustrated, and so they just failed me. So I came back a week later and took the course again with a completely different class. Friends that I had made during the first class, they went on. So I'm in a class with strangers. I passed it. Boom. So there's this place called National Powersport Distributors. And at the time, they had the layaway program where, you can put a bike on layaway, keep paying on it. They give you a specific amount of time, then you can pick the bike up. And I was scrolling through all of the bikes and I saw the Ninja 250 there. So I did research on there and it was like, yeah, this Ninja 250 is a great bike for beginners. The reviews were positive and stuff. And I'm like, all right, boom, let's go, let's get it. I didn't know too much about bikes, but I wanted something beginner friendly. I didn't want to get wrapped around a pole or something like that, or the bike shoot out from under me or pop a wheelie on me by accident. So I got the Ninja 250, and I liked it. It had the center stand, it had the kickstand. It's an awesome bike. Now, mind you, I'm new to motorcycles, so I didn't realize that a 250, you can't tour in this thing, so they say. But me, in my blissful ignorance and in my naiveness and my innocence, I took that bike all over the world, man. Like literally, I took that bike from like Jersey to down to South Jersey to the Jersey Shore. I took it up to like Massachusetts. I was all nobody couldn't tell me nothing, and that was the only bike that I know. So I didn't know nothing about CCs and the amount of engine you need for the parkway or for the highway to tour comfortably. And I thought all bikes were buzzy. I thought all bikes you had to have wide open throttle just to get someplace, what I'm saying? I ain't know no better. And so, what happened was my cousin got the Ninja 400 off the showroom floor when they first came out, the Kawasaki Ninja 400. And I saw how magnificent that bike was. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to step my game up. And I started looking for different bikes and stuff, and I kind of got swayed into the whole Harley Davidson era, the whole Harley Davidson scene, because I'm like, looking at a bunch of motor vloggers on YouTube. They was on the Harley scene. Harley's the only American manufacturer that's doing things. Has been in business since the dinosaurs or whatever. Blah 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 blah, etc. etc. For whatever reason, I got into Harley, so I wanted to get a Sportster. So I got like a 1996 Sportster carbureted joint, and I was content with them. I love that bike. But the only thing about this bike is that, it's air cooled and it's very noisy, and that thing shakes. It vibrates a lot. Like it really vibrates. But at the time, I'm like, it's a Harley. It's what it's supposed to do. And that engine sound was the most beautiful sound of a motorcycle engine that I've ever heard. That air cooled, carbureted Harley. Oh my God, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. And everybody loved that bike. It was a classic bike. You know what I'm saying? It was a throwback. I did everything on that bike. I love that bike. Hold on, I'm thirsty. Let me take a sip of my lemon water here. All right. So, I did what I did on that Harley Davidson. I pimped it out. It came with those buckhorn handlebars, the ones that like they curve and the handlebars were facing downward. It like I'll try to throw a picture up there of it, and those were kind of crazy. Wait a minute, hold on for a second. All right, yeah, man. I changed the handlebars at first. At the handlebars like down low. With the trying to get that sport bike type of cafe thing or whatever. I did some changes. Then I got the ape hangers. I did a lot of changes with that bike. And here on the screen, I'm gonna show you some of the different changes I did with the bike and how I ultimately ended up. And I love that bike. And I blame Danger Girl for taking me to the next level. And what do I mean by that? So I was content with the Harley, but I was kind of sport bike curious because Danger Girl, who is my cousin by the way, she had. Hey, how you doing? Sorry, I'm at work, y'all. She had a Honda 600 sport bike. The predecessor to the excuse, not the predecessor, the predecessor, yeah, the predecessor to the CBR 600 is the Honda F4i, whatever that thing is called. Anyway, so I was curious and everything, and I test rode her bike, and of course, Cycle Cruise at the time had that CBR 600 double I, baby. And in sport bikes, I see them on YouTube, and everything is exciting and stuff, but so I was like, hey, can I take your bike for a ride around the block or whatever like that? She's like, yeah, sure. And it was so light compared to the Harley. It felt like the 250 as far as the weight, And that's misleading because coming from the Sportster, which was made out of iron and steel and like it felt like a battleship. I mean, it was very heavy. Harley don't play. They bikes is solid metal, and so I got used to the Harley's weight. So when I got onto the CBR, I'm not saying it weighs the same as a 250, but to me it did because I had got used to the Harley's weight. So that's like this thing's light as a feather and it's more powerful. I'm like the power to weight ratio is insane. So I couldn't sleep at night no more after I test rode a bike. I was like, man, I'm sport bike curious. I'm sport bike curious. No, I'm gonna take the plunge. And then with Danger Girl, we used to go out places a lot. And yeah, I be keeping up with her and stuff, no problem. But when we get to the open highway and when she feeling frisky and she want to like get some speed going, I can keep up with her for a little bit. But the bike, the Sportster is rattling apart. I'm like, I'm going to lose parts on the highway here. It was rattling. It could keep up. But oh my God, I thought that I was going to when we get to the destination, it's just going to be like two wheels and my handlebars. It's crazy. So I'm like, nah, we got to do better than this if I'm going to be rolling with Danger Girl. And I blame Danger Girl for this. For me upgrade to a Kawasaki Ninja 600, a 636, I should say. ZX 6R, 600, whatever it was called. ZX6R. Believe that's the moniker or whatever the heck it's called. Anyway, 636. So yeah, I loved that bike. Loved it. Loved it. Loved the bike. It was beautiful. I am a dummy. But before I tell you how stupid I am, let me tell you this. My first bike was the Kawasaki Ninja 250. No doubt. And that bike got me acclimated, fancy word there, to two wheels. And that bike was, So I was like, I'm going to go back to Kawasaki. Kawasaki did me right. Kawasaki was cool. So, I was like, yeah, let's do Kawasaki again. Let's go for it. Got the Kawasaki. Beautiful, smooth as butter. The engine was violent. It was a violent engine. That engine was like, yo, Negro. Are we going to ride or are we going to let's rob a bank and then get away on the highway? Let's kill somebody and then escape. Let's go like cross interstate lines. Let's get away. Let's be. It was a violent bike. That bike, it would like the characteristic is smooth, but once it hit that certain rev range or that certain RPM, it's like, yo, let's kill people for fun. Booyaka, booyaka. That's how that bike was, and it got a little bit intimidating. And certain things on the Power Ranger just jumps. It's just like it wakes up on you, and I'm like, okay. I got a little bit scared, a little bit intimidated. I ain't gonna lie, yeah, that's me. I'm man enough to admit it. So I ran back to the cruiser, ran back to my little Sportster and everything, and I was like, boom, all right, we safe, we home, we cool. The no more big bad Kawasaki 636. Oh, we okay, we're okay now. You okay? You want a cookie? You want some milk and cookies? You want some milk and cookies? You okay now? Oh, you little punk, little sissy boy. Go wrap up in a blanket and go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep, little boy. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what just happened just there. So I just continuing to ride with Danger Girl, being rattled apart on this thing, keeping up with her. We still taking trips together and stuff, riding together. I'm like, you know what? That last trip to Delaware did it. I was like, you know what? You're an idiot. You're a fool, man. Like, you gave up the perfect bike, the Kawasaki Ninja 636, to go back to this cruiser. It's a museum piece. Danger Girl, she effortlessly going 80, like yawning. And we're going 82, keeping up with her. But we're rattling apart and she's smooth as silk, like bored over there. Like, are we there yet? And I'm like, nah, man, I made a mistake. I've made a mistake. Even though, the Kawasaki was kind of out of control or whatever, but it's me. I could have just been smooth with it. I could have just been chilling with it. And, so I was missing that bike. And that bike was the best on the highway. Smooth. I was the fastest thing on the road. I can maneuver, get around traffic. Anybody want to chase me and beat me down or rob me or kill me or try to run me over, they couldn't do it because they couldn't catch me. I miss that. So I was like, we got to do this again. We got to go get a sport bike for real this time. So I turned around and I got a Yamaha because they didn't have no more Kawasaki's in my price range. And let me be clear with you, I'm a cheap bastard. What I mean by that is I will never finance nothing. I will never pay money every month for a motorcycle. I buy cash. And if it's out my price range, I ain't going to get it. And you know what? I'll get me an old throwback motorcycle as long as it's in good condition and everything. So, I'm not paying every month for a $12,000 motorcycle and plus insurance and everything. And I have a car and I have rent to pay and I have a wife that needs to eat and stuff and I have a daughter. Heck no, I ain't paying money every month on a motorcycle. So I couldn't find a Kawasaki in my price range. So I bought a Yamaha 600 cash money, the predecessor to the R6, the YZF 600. Yep, this bike created the R6. They took everything from this bike and it's like, you know what? Let's tweak it a little bit and let's make an R6 out of it. And that's what they did. And if I want to tune this bike up, I basically have an R6, which is discontinued, by the way, but that's another story. So anyway, blah, 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 blah. So now I go here, excuse me, go to the store. I was like, yo, give me that sport bike right there. Yeah, it costs. I don't care how much it costs. Here's the money. Give it to me. Give me the keys. Boom, 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 boom. And they gave me the keys and stuff. And you know what? I'm being misleading here. Before I did that, I looked at like a dual sport. I was going to get into that dual sport supermoto life, but I was like, you know what? This thing sucks on the highway. So I went and took it back. And then I was going to get like a little Honda 300, and stuff. And it was modern and everything, but in my price range, but it was a 300. But I was like, nah, I can't keep up with Danger Girl. So I got the 600. Boom. I only rode it once because I bought it in December and we had a bad winter. I have no riding gear, no heated gear. I have no experience of riding in the cold and stuff all year round like my man Ducati NYC and other people. And plus it's a brand new bike. I want to take this sucker to like the parking lot and practice a little bit, get to know my bike, get acclimated to it, get familiar with it. So I'm not going to be riding in the winter time with this thing. Wait till the weather break a little bit so it's in storage. So boom. All right, fine. But so the only experience I have is when I rode it home from the dealership. And this thing is silky smooth, smoother than the Kawasaki Ninja. It's like butter. This bike is like butter and it has a lot of torque down low. And the mid-range, I'm like, wow, this thing is nice on the highway. I felt nothing but smoothness. It was very smooth. You could hear the engine, the slight vibration of the engine, but a positive vibration, not the negative vibration. But it was so smooth like silk. I never experienced the engine so smooth before. And that's my only takeaway from the bike so far because I only rode it once. But if I could describe the bike, it's the smoothness. It's a very smooth bike, a very smooth engine. And I don't know how they did it. I don't know why it is or what's in the engine or what kind of engine we got going in there besides the fact that it's an inline four. But it was smooth. I don't know why, but it was smooth. I don't know what Yamaha got going on, but it's a very smooth engine. And that's what I got right now. So look forward for that. And that is my podcast for today. I had to get that out and go through my bikes right there. And I'm going to cut it off at the 20, before we get to the 20-minute mark, I'm going to cut it off at 19:30. So, yeah, that's all I got to say. Enjoy the podcast. If nobody enjoys it, it's for me to just get this stuff off my chest here, especially at work. When inspiration hits me, I got to go. So we're going to end it right there. And I will see you guys soon. Peace.